Sorry about that. Good morning and welcome to another episode of Tea with Z. Just a little glitch there. I thought I'd clicked it, but I ended up restarting that countdown. So, welcome to another episode with Tea with Z. It's great to be here with you again this morning. And like always, if you haven't got your hot beverage, juice, tea, coffee, whatever it is that you want to drink, go and grab that. And let's jump into it this morning. So, planning, planning. And at the end of the day, this is a word that you may have heard a few times from me, and it's one of the key pillars that I actually work on. Where I focus with my clients on 5 key elements: mindset, planning, leadership, marketing, and sales. And those first two pillars for me have such compounding effects on the rest of those pillars, and that's why I mentioned those pillars in that particular order. At the end of the day, with everything that we do and everything that that we focus on, at the core of that is mindset. But then, in order to leverage that mindset of growth, of achievement, we need to then implement plans. Now, when we look at planning, and when we look at planning, it's not only a hot topic in business, but it's a hot topic in life. We make plans to travel. That might be a little bit hard right now, but when we go, to whether or not it's an agent or we're researching online and we want to book a holiday somewhere, even if it's, in these times right now, it might only be half an hour from our home. Even I know some people that just want a little city getaway, outside of their house, and they head into the city and stay in a hotel room for a night or two over the weekend just to mix things up. But when we look at that, there's a plan involved. And there's a goal that you want to achieve, which might look at, we want a little trip, a getaway with we want to fit a massage in, we want to have a fine dining experience, we want to have something adventurous. Whatever that might look like, we set parameters about what we want to achieve, and then we lay down plans to get that. Now, when we look at this in our own health entrepreneurial journey, though, when we look at the role that planning has in our health entrepreneurial journey, are you planning, particularly in these times right now, to just survive? Or are you planning with active mindset and passion and purpose to thrive? So that's my question for you today is, and what the difference with that looks like. Because speaking from experience, so just to give you a little bit of a story, back in 2013, we were approached by our landlord who was tossing up some ideas about redeveloping our center. And at that point in time, we were facing enormous competitive pressures. We had two large, and if you're familiar with us, with our story, we had two large big box discounters within 500 meters of us. We were one of 13 pharmacies within a 3 kilometer radius. And just to give you some context, is when I say large big box discount, those two pharmacies alone were turning over in excess of around $30 million. And so they're not small pharmacies. These guys are major players in the industry. And when we look at that and the mindset that we adopted in order to plan our business moving forward, when we were approached by our landlord, and they said, look, we're looking at redeveloping the center. How do you want this to work? What do you foresee the pharmacy looking like in the future? If we took that mindset of just survival rather than an ability to thrive despite our competitive pressures, despite the evolving consumer and patient demands, despite our changing demographics, if we took that mindset to just survive, we would have ended up in a very different situation to what we then ended up achieving in our business. No, I'm not going to dive too much into that. If you want to know that story, jump onto zamilsolanki.com. It's all there. But essentially, using that mindset to thrive allowed us to see opportunities that weren't readily there, allowed us to take on board lessons learned from our experiences, lessons learned from our patients and our consumers, lessons learned from our team, lessons learned from what our community was demanding, and the demands that they had of us as a pillar and a community health hub. And as we look towards these challenging times now, then, are you planning now to just survive these lockdowns? Are you planning to thrive, or are you planning to thrive through these lockdowns and knowing whatever opportunities will present itself along the way? Are you planning to capitalize on that? Now, we're seeing, the introduction of hundreds of pharmacies across the country being onboarded to participate in the COVID vaccination rollout, which is very exciting, which is very, very exciting. At the end of the day, this is something that's been fought for many, many months. And now pharmacies are jumping on to help bring, I guess, Australia out of this pandemic and into, I guess, a new normal, a new normal. And we've touched on contingency plans earlier in the week. But what I wanted to touch on today was, what type of goals are you also setting for yourself? Are they goals that challenge and inspire you to look beyond what is currently happening right now and to bring your team, bring your community, bring your family, bring your friends, whatever shape or form of health entrepreneurship it is? Are you looking at setting goals right now that actually challenge you and motivate you to step up and go beyond? Or are you just really setting goals for the sake of it? And I was chatting with a client yesterday about this. And this client is facing challenges, I guess, within his own business, but he recognizes the opportunities that lies within those challenges. And he said something really interesting. He said, Zamil, I don't set goals for the sake of setting goals. When I set goals, it is to challenge myself. I'm not setting goals just for the sake of it, and as a result, they're just pissy goals. But at the end of the day, these goals have to mean something when they're achieved. There's something that I have to work towards. And it got me really, thinking that, yeah, at the end of the day, what sort of goals are we setting for ourselves? Now, on the flip side of that, and I was chatting with Tash about this, is, are we also setting goals that are way too unrealistic in such a short period of time? I was talking about us getting back into a really good regimented exercise routine, and she looked at me and she's like, Zamil, geez, those goals that you're setting for yourself actually are quite unrealistic. And, at the end of the day, it took some reflection to come back and go, yeah, because I put my mindset on as to what I was once doing, in my peak. And, during my personal training days, I was training 11 times a week, actively training 11 times a week. I had a very different physique to what, what you see on camera today. And when I look at that mindset of, am I setting, what type of goals am I setting? It's also got to come back to not only setting goals to survive or to thrive, but it's about setting goals that are actually attainable as well and are relevant. And it all comes back to those principles of setting those SMART goals, setting specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-based goals. But what's the quality of those goals, and how motivating are they for us to actually achieve that? And they can be only motivating enough if we ourselves believe in the purpose of those goals, believe in the point and the need to achieve those goals. And they can only become as meaningful to those around us if we create a collective buy-in to achieving those goals. So what are you doing with not only yourself, but with your team to take them on the journey of achieving these goals, not only to survive, but to thrive? And we've touched on we've touched on communication earlier in the week. How are you communicating what you're doing with those around you? How are you holding yourselves accountable to whatever it is that you wish to achieve? What is the confidence that you're instilling in yourself and those around you, whether it's your team, your friends, your family, your loved ones, whatever it might be? Because I know that there are many different types of health entrepreneurs jumping on and joining us with T with C. So, in your world, what does that look like to you? So that's the question today: is what are you planning for? Are you planning to just survive, or are you planning to thrive? And what are the quality of those plans? What does it look like to you? So, just wanted to mention as well, I touch on planning quite a bit, and you might be wondering, well, how do I do this? How do I plan? How do I plan? So, firstly, firstly, you've got to start somewhere. You've got to start somewhere. You've got to have a templated process to do it. And there's so many different processes out there. But if you do want to learn more about, the planning process and what we can do with that, definitely reach out. Send me a direct message, send me a message, and we can have a chat. Because for each and every person, that process might look a little bit different because it all comes down to what outcomes that you want to achieve. I know for me, myself, planning the business that I was involved in, it was 18 months of rigorous planning to identify a lot of things. And I'm not saying you've got to step out and do 18 months of planning. No, no, no. I've refined that process. I've taken the lessons and we've refined that process. But it's really important that you have a process, whatever that might be. So, like always, though, we want to deep dive into things like these topics in our Limitless Network. And that's where we deliver even more golden nuggets. We really focus, I guess, more on the how, exclusively in the Limitless Network. The point of T with Z, as you've noticed, is about asking questions. It's about asking questions because the best answers come from the best questions. T with Z is designed to prompt your own creative juices, your own mind to start thinking about what you need to do. And as a business strategist and entrepreneur coach, I deliver the how through the programs that I run, but also in the Limitless Network. The Limitless Network is where we deep dive into a topic each week. And that's where we deliver a lot of the how. So, if you haven't joined yet, the details are on the screen. Tomorrow we'll be deep diving into a topic in the Limitless Network exclusively. And once again, I said, yeah, there is a variety of people, businesses, whatever it might be, that are within the Limitless Network. And at the end of the day, if you value health in any way, shape, or form, if you want to take charge of health like you would a business, then I believe that you are a health entrepreneur. And that's the group to jump on in there. So that's it from me today. Have an amazing, amazing day. Stay safe, stay well, and I look forward to catching up with you tomorrow exclusively in the Limitless group. But if you do have any questions as well, feel free to reach out. Feel free to reach out. You'll see that this is plastered all over the different social media. But feel free to reach out. Love having a chat, and that's what we're here to do. So, chat to you soon. Take care now. Bye.